Hi there, this is Matroda, and I wanted to run through my Duelist build, which is a Spectral Throw cast on crit Ethreal Knives build. I am level 84 on Nemesis, and I just kind of want to show you the beginning part here. We just stick to the left side. A couple of important nodes, of course, are Golem's Blood and all the life nodes we can pick up here. Also Diamond Flesh if you need the resistances. This is a daggers and shield build, so you're definitely going to want to grab the 6% block here. Run over and grab leather and steel. When I'm leveling, I like to use a lot of armor gear, and this will keep you nice and fast, so I definitely recommend it. Move over, grab iron reflexes, that'll open up all the evasion gear. And then we start making our way right. You're going to want to grab these health nodes, of course, and 2 points here. This will give you the 3% attack speed and 24% physical damage. It's pretty good for 2 nodes. Moving up, of course, we grab the health nodes. We like in this build, you're going to want to grab all the health nodes you can. All the health nodes that are close to your line. This top part, this is all one-handed physical damage. This is 4% block chance, which is really good for one node, and it gives you 20% melee physical damage. That's going to help you on your double strike single target, your boss killing move. Also, go down here, grab the 4% block chance with shields and the 30% defenses. Then we move up to the first critical strike nodes that we can get. Before you get a lot of critical strike, this is basically going to be a Spectral Throw build. You're going to want some uniques. You might want to go two-handed for a little bit. It just really depends on what your preference is for leveling. Once I hit 60, that's when I went cast on crit. That's when I started having fun. We go over, grab these health nodes, come up around here, and to reach these aura nodes. And we're also going to want to grab Ballistic Mastery. The 20% projectile speed is going to increase the range on your Ethreal Knives and the range on your Spectral Throw, and the projectile damage is actually going to add on to both those skills as well. Then I went up and grabbed these evasion life nodes. I was looking at them and they looked pretty good. So, and I didn't have that much evasion percentage, so every little bit that I get right now counts a lot. I went up from the aura nodes and I grabbed haste, all this melee physical damage, these life nodes. When you go daggers, you're going to need a lot of intel. So this intel and crit chance node was great. We have 12% maximum life, 20 strength. Conditioning will get us over into these crit nodes. And then from here we go up and grab the mana leech, more life nodes, more crit here. Now, if you are cast on crit and you don't have enough points to get over here, I recommend grabbing these two. This will give you some nice offense when you need it. And then you can get rid of it later to pick these up because they're just better. These nodes are so good. Anyway, I went up through here, grabbed a Doomcast. Actually, I grabbed that after I got all 4 of these, which there's 120% crit chance in here and a bunch of physical damage for daggers. So super, super nice nodes. After that, I needed strength and I needed life, so I started moving over. Now I'm going to go through the values real quick. All this damage right here adds on to my Spectral Throw, and this adds on to Double Strike. So that's just basically single target. Melee physical damage does nothing for Spectral Throw unless it says one-handed melee physical damage, and then you're fine. Evasion rating, I'm at about 90% evasion rating. For block, I've got 14%, so if I'm using any type of Archon shield, I'm going to be at 38%, or a branded shield like I am. I think I'm at like 40 or 42 or something like that. I'll show you in a sec. Total life percentage is 226. That number needs to be higher. I'll show you my life values and my gear here in a second. Attack speed 47%. Crit chance, this is the big one. Let's see, right now I'm at approximately 400. And that's actually, excuse me, I'm at 340 with daggers and then 60% on spells. And what's really nice about having a lot of spell crit is when you do get the crit with the daggers and you do cast Ethreal Knives, when Ethreal Knives crit, they're going to cast more Ethreal Knives. It's absolutely awesome. I'll show you in the piety run that I'm going to do once I run through my gear and stuff. One little thing, this is a site called PoE Builder. I do not use any of this stuff. I do not import my character information in here. I don't click on anything. I use it strictly for this information here on the left side. So I don't endorse. I don't know the site well enough to endorse it, but it is a handy tool. Anyway, let's get into the actual build here. We're going to start with the skills and items. For single target, I use double strike, melee physical damage, multi-strike, and life leech. And that DPS is around 11,000 with hatred. I'll show you my weapon next so you can kind of do a little bit of comparison. This weapon I actually rolled with Alterations Regals and a couple Exalted. It's not optimal, but it is a Platinum Chris, which has a very high base critical strike chance at 7.28. I want to show you something real quick. Main hand critical strike chance, 41.6. Let's toss on, if you look, critical strike chance, 6.2. And watch what my crit goes down to. We go from 41 to 33. That's a really big difference. Now, let's take a dagger like this with 8.8. We go to 48.6. Okay? So, crit chance on your dagger is a big deal. Now, I went kind of middle of the road here because this dagger's got a lot of DPS and I like that. Optimally, I would love to have a dagger that does a lot of damage, maybe not the best attack speed, but maybe spell damage and crit chance on it. Be super, super nice. If you can get like 50% spell damage on this dagger, Ethreal Knives damage just goes sky high. Let's see here. Am I running hatred? No, I'm not. Oh, yeah, that's because I took my dagger off. Anyway, for headpiece, I'm using Starkonja's head. That's the bear hood, just because it's got crit chance, nice life on it, and my resists are all taken care of. For a shield, this is the cornerstone of my gear. It's got a ton of resist on it. It's got health. It's got everything I need to freely use my other slots the way I want to. When I got this, I was able to go with a very low resist ring over here that has tons of life, got some physical damage, got some leech. I was able to move over into this global critical strike chance ring with, tons of life, some strength, some physical damage. The resists were a bonus. I actually rolled this ring with an alchemy. I'm not even using that lightning resist. My lightning resist is way too high right now. But amulet, I needed a ton of intel for this dagger, so I am forced to use this amulet. If you could get a global crit multiplier amulet, that would be much better. Boots, pretty basic boots. I'm basically using these for the movement speed, the rarity, and the fire resist. Rustic Sash, big part of the build. This is going to help your DPS out a lot. If we take a look, my Ethreal Knives is at 1324 with the belt, 1174 without the belt. So that's a big deal. And it's going to help out your double strike DPS and your spectral throw DPS. Average damage on spectral throw right now is 588, and it's linked up to LMP, Ethreal Knives, and cast on critical strike. That's it. If it was on a 5 link, I would have added fire on there, and that would send the DPS sky high, or faster projectiles. If I'm doing high level maps and I want to stay a little bit further back, faster projectiles will increase the range of your Ethreal Knives and your spectral throw by a lot. Auras, of course, Grace, Hatred, pretty cookie cutter auras. I think I already went through these. Let's see. Spectral Throw, Item Rarity, Culling Strike, super nice for bosses. I'm running a lot of Piety, so that's what I like to use to finish her off. This is pretty important right here, because this will keep you alive. Cast when damage taken, Enduring Cry. So, this could be a little bit higher level, so could this, to try to get 3 endurance charges when the big groups kick in. And then another cornerstone, Cast when stunned, increased duration, Immortal Call. Cast when stunned, Immortal Call is awesome. I mean, it's all based, if you get a big spike in damage, you're going to get stunned, and you have a high chance to use up your endurance charges and be immune to physical damage for a couple of seconds. It's really, really nice. And I don't think there's a cooldown. Oh, the cooldown's only a half second, so. Alright, what else? Cast when damage taken. Enfeeble. I love using Enfeeble because it gives me the ability, if I run into a, I haven't ran into any Exiles that I can't beat yet, and that's with the Shield Charger, the Viper Striker, the Ethreal Knives guy. But this gives me the option to not be so scared, because as soon as they hit me, they're going to be enfeebled. And yeah, I like to play it safe in Nemesis. And that's pretty much all for my abilities here. You can kind of run through and see, my DPS, my critical strike chance at 41.6, um, the movement speed. Movement speed's a big part of this build. Yeah, 41%. Armor with grace is at almost 7,000. Not great, but pretty good, pretty good. Block chance, that's another big one. Chance to block attacks, 40%. I was using an anvil for a little bit, but once I could get to 40% on my own without the anvil, I just decided to take it off and go for speed. Alright, right now I'm going to run a piety run to show you how much the procs are. Another thing with piety runs, what I like to do is keep going until I get a level 3 really close to the waypoint, and then this area resets in 8 minutes. Normally, if you're clearing it fast, you can get it done in 5. So you can just come back to the waypoint and run straight there, do it again. I'm going to go back and put these daggers in my stash, so just give me one moment here. My FPS is a little spiky, so you'll have to bear with me. Alright. This will kind of give you an idea of how much I actually proc, the cast on crit, how much damage my Ethreal knives do. Oh yeah, my FPS is a little tanky right now. Also pay attention to how much damage I'm actually taking. This isn't a, I don't have as much health as I'd like to have. I don't have as much armor as I would like to have. I'd like to be able to run the that helm that I can't think of the name right now. I'm having kind of a brain fart. The helm that helps out auras, because I believe that would give me the ability to run hatred, determination, and grace, and that would make me kind of a beast. But I just haven't found that nice item that I can sell for a bunch of exalteds. As far as potions, right now I'm using my first health potion is a removes bleed and recharges on critical strike. And then the second one is just one that removes freezing. That's pretty important. You don't want to be frozen getting beat on by a bunch of stuff. The Jade Flask is actually pretty nice. That one's got 97% evasion rating when popped. And that usually puts me up to about 20,000 armor and makes me very, very tanky against physical attacks. Movement speed pot removes curse, which is excellent. I definitely recommend it, especially for running piety, because when you rush into these groups with it on, you're not going to have vulnerability. And that's the biggest danger in this area, is you being vulnerable. Let's say there's a corrupted blood yellow in here, and you have the vulnerability curse on you. You're going to spike in damage hard. You're going to lose a lot of health really fast. When you pop that movement speed pot to get away from danger, it's going to take the curse off you, and that hopefully will give you enough time to pop your bleed pot. I usually don't get hit too hard in here. I have had a couple of scary scenarios with vulnerability and corrupted blood. And last, the Diamond Flask. You're going to want to, when your mana is under control, you're going to want to run a Diamond Flask in its place. Potentially one with increased charge recovery. I'm not using it that much right now, and I should be, because it's amazing. I'll show you a little bit more when I get close here, or get into big groups. Reflect Physical. I'm going to pop my Diamond Flask, and you can kind of see that my health is not moving on Reflect Physical, even though I'm critting quite a bit. That wasn't that big of a mob pool, but even on the biggest of mob pools, I've only lost about, I don't know, maybe gotten spiked down to 50% of my health, clearing out the entire mob pool with crits. So Reflect Physical, not a huge deal. And just kind of run backwards, throw your Spectral throws, watch the Ethreal knives go out. But this build is really for taking down big groups. I did a lot of low-level maps early, and In low-level maps, I want to clear everything. I want to get the most out of the map, and that's not where this build really shines. This build shines when you can take down a big group, take a look, see if there's any loot on the ground, and then move on to the next big group. You kind of see single target DPS there, not too shabby. But yeah, it's, this build, it's not about if everything is going to get blown up, it's about when everything is going to get blown up. Eventually you are going to crit and you are going to clear out everything. And the bigger the group, the more chance there is that this is going to happen. I have no advice for this cell area. This is like the bane of my piety existence. Bringer of Bones, I usually just kite backwards, make sure and get tons of procs, usually AoE down the yellow. And, okay, usually here there's a bigger pack of blues, and I pop my diamond flask. I'm a little bit early, but I like popping it there because I know I'll have it for piety. Oh, didn't even see this guy. Now, you might not have an awesome dagger with 250 DPS on it, but let's say you get a dagger with around 180 DPS and some spell damage, maybe a little crit, you're going to be doing just as much damage as I am. I hate this. I hate when she summons minions. It just slows things down. Anyway, go ahead and pop the crit flask. When she goes into fire form, you'll get the most out of it then. And then color down, which I think I just missed. Anyway, that is the entire build. That was probably about a 5-minute run. And as you can see, my health, I was pretty safe the entire time. The biggest problem is going to be the vulnerability curse and the corrupted blood together. That's going to be where you run into your biggest issues. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. Once I start doing some more high-level maps, I'm running my buddies through Piety right now. They ripped a couple times, so I'm getting them back into basically where they can, run some high-level maps with me, and we can stack up on auras and all that good stuff. But I'll try to post some videos of me running, some 74, 75 plus maps, and you can kind of see how the build works there, and if, it stays as tanky as it seems to be. But anyway, yeah, thank you for watching, and yeah, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up.